Talking with David Buob, who was the principal psychologist here at Glenside Psychiatric Hospital for how many years, David?
22.
20. So he has a peculiar insight into the functions and the history of this particular establishment. David, tell me, we're in the notorious Z ward here at Glenside. I'm an Adelaide native. You're an Adelaide native too, I'm sure. And the word for Glenside was...
I'm an Adelaide native since I was 11.
Okay, that's good enough. So the word Glenside was a euphemism for mental instability once upon a time. But Z ward had a peculiar reputation beyond even that of Glenside. Can you tell me a little bit about what it was used for and who might have come here?
Okay, well, it was designed to be for the criminally mentally insane, which is people who've been found not guilty of a very major offence for reasons of their mental health, etc. And the interesting thing, even when the new there's been a series of mental health acts in South Australia, starting from the British one in the basically from the 1860s, that they adopted, which got rewritten in 1913. And in that particular one, there was the Mental Health Act, and then there was an act for the criminally mentally insane. So they were always kept separate. And every time they updated the Mental Health Act, which they did periodically, change regulations, and then they did another one in about 1964. Basically, they still kept the Z ward population under a different act, so they kept the original act for the criminally mentally insane.
Gosh.
From about 1913 to the 1960s. So it was always kept as a separate institution. There was the institution of the Z ward population, and there was the rest of the hospital.
Right. Now, and I've been listening to your very interesting commentary here on one of the National Trust's tours, where you're a very competent and interesting guide. Just quickly, these tours take place how often?
Once a fortnight, on a Saturday or a Sunday.
You could probably do them almost daily, given the interest that's here. And there's ghost tours run at night as well, which would be very interesting, I'm sure. But Z ward, you told me, it was built over a protracted period during the 1880s for all kinds of bureaucratic meddling going on at that stage. And if I'm remembering correctly, you said that they had trouble filling it in the early stages.
Yeah. I think basically what counted as a governor's pleasure person in those days was a much more narrow definition than what we see nowadays. The James Nash type facility has a lot more people than could ever be housed in this building.
The James Nash is where?
I'd say technically it's in Lightsview, or across the road from Lightsview. It's just north of what was the old Hillcrest Hospital site.
Okay, talking in Adelaide, that's on the northern perimeter of Adelaide, yeah.
It's on Foster's Road, just before you get to Grand Junction.
Right, gotcha. So the definition and the parameters that you were saying for what constituted mental insanity was a little bit elastic in those days.
Yeah, I mean, people's ability or rights to have legal representation is totally different under the modern system of people having a right to defend themselves, etc. In those days, if you had money, you couldn't afford a lawyer, so the government wasn't going to pay any service for you to.
Gosh, okay, well, governor's pleasure really was that, wasn't it? Yeah. So now, when the hospital, or particularly Z ward, closed, I think you said 1973.
Yeah.
It was Well, in that sort of mid-period of the 20th century, there wasn't a lot of nostalgia for old buildings, was there? And we lost a lot of beautiful buildings, and Z Ward was really ready to be quite literally blown up.
Absolutely.
And was it a public campaign that helped save it?
Certainly the people at Glenside Hospital thought this building was worth saving. We had a historical society at that time. They were very disturbed to think that the government thought the best thing to do was to blow it up and totally erase it. I have had an anonymous ex-resident say that's what they wanted to see happen to this building, and were very disappointed that we were showing people it since then. But I think the 7:30 report on the ABC that videoed what a building looked like, what they were doing, what the plans were, shocked sufficiently enough people to change public opinion.
Good on the ABC. This would have gone to air in the 1970s, I imagine.
That was, well, they'd started to make the building available to be in a stage where what could be salvaged had been taken out, and it was literally about to be blown up with the charges laid.
And a lot of salvageable material had been removed too,
Yeah.
That's right. Well, David, thank you so much for your time. I've really enjoyed the tour here today. And if anyone's interested, they can go online, book a Z Ward tour.
It needs to be done by the National Trust, who now own the building, which is very good of Southern Cross Homes to donate the building to the National Trust.
Southern Cross Homes, who are a commercial entity who are doing the residential work in this area. And there's a lot of planning going on, I should say, outside, because there's a lot of low density housing going on all the way around this building now. David, thank you again for your time, and come on down to Z Ward and see it for yourself.